Yo, what is up, guys? Jamie Chaos here, and today I wanted to give you guys a follow-up video to the gold making guide, but this time we're going to try to do something a little bit different. I want to try to keep more gold in your pocket, and you guys might be overspending on auction house decor, and I have a solution for you. Now, if you haven't seen my gold making guide, I'll make sure that that is linked up in the right-hand side of the screen. Go ahead and click that, because some of the things I'm going to be discussing in this also pertain to the video over there, especially when we're going to be talking about routes and where to farm to get lumber. This will take a little bit of extra work, but I promise you, you are going to save far more money than buying things off of the auction house. If we pop open the auction house, we can head over down to the decor and do a little bit of a search, and we're going to see there are tons of items listed. And as we get down to the bottom, we start to notice something. This frost wall forge, which I typically sell for around 25 to 20K, is trying to be listed for 180,000 gold for a single item. And we can pop that open right here. I mean, yes, the forge is nice. It looks pretty cool, but it is not worth 180,000 in material. What people are trying to do is price gouge because they know that you might be willing to pay for the convenience of running to the auction house and buying this. And there are some people that just won't have the willpower to not purchase. But I'm here to kind of give you a different idea of how you can get this same item for a fraction of the cost. But there will be a little bit of legwork to set it up. So how are we going to go about farming our wood? Well, it's pretty easy. We're going to use an add-on called routes along with routes import export to make it so it's easier to upload the script. That script will then put an overlay on your map and mini map as we get close to it, as you can see on the screen. And we're just going to follow this until we find our wood. Now, I'm only going to gather a few different pieces because I don't need a ton for what we're about to work on, but I thought I would give you guys a quick example of how easy it is to go and farm your own wood. All it's going to take is heading over to the Lumberjack, buying your axe, install this add-on, install the scripts, and you're good to go. Now, before any of you start furiously typing to let me know that you're not able to trade wood, I am completely aware. In fact, it is a warbound material. You cannot trade it to anybody except your alts, which is awesome because one, that cuts down on RMT and the ability for people to price gouge even more. But what's really cool about it is that it's actually going to work in your advantage for you to get cheaper decor. And what do I mean by that? As you can see in my bags, I have my wood here. We have some dark pine lumber, and we're going to head over to a system that was added back in Dragonflight. I think this is actually one of the coolest systems that they've added and updated with their new crafting system, and that is the crafting work orders. So as you can see, decor has been added to this and we can search up the things that we need. Now, I was harvesting wood over in some BFA areas. So we have our dark pine lumber, which is for Zandalari crafting, which incidentally kind of puts this stuff up here. And you can see that I already have 16 of the 10 lumber that we need for this fence post. And all I need to do now is to get these two materials. This becomes significantly cheaper. As you can see, it's only going to cost me 310 gold to pick this up from the auction house. I will tell you that these right now are going for almost 18,000 gold for a single fence post. If you're running to the auction house to get your decor, you are being massively ripped off. So one of the things that we're going to want to find is what's something we actually want from the BFA era. And to be honest, it can kind of be a little bit difficult going through this. There's a couple other add-ons you can look at, such as Homebound and some others. However, I think the easiest way is you can pull up Wowhead and they already have a list of crafted decor. For me personally, one of the things that really caught my attention from BFA was the Zandalari bottle shipment. So what we're going to do now is we're going to head back over to the crafting order. We're going to go into decor and we're going to go ahead and search for the bottle shipment. So we found our bottle shipment, and to make this a little bit easy, because you can see that I already have some of the items, but I don't have the anchor weed, I'm just going to go ahead and track this recipe, which will put it down here. As you can see, I can now see it in my professions. There's another add-on that we're using called Auctionator, and I talked about that in the gold making guide. What that's going to allow me to do is click a search once I open up the auction house. You can see a little search bar pops up and we can hit that, and I can easily go and get the 3 anchor weed that I need. We're gonna go buy that up and collect it. And now all we need to do is head over and put in our work order. So here we go. We have it there. We want to make sure that we're doing a public order. There are 3 different types of orders you can do. Public, which you are going to need to supply all the materials. Guild, where you might be able to find a guildie that's able to make this for you, and maybe they can supply some of the wood. It looks like they can even supply the lumber for you if needed. Or you can do a personal work order, and this is going to send it to yourself. You're going to type in one of your alts that may have that, so you can log on to another character and get that done. But right now, we're just going to do a public work order. And one of the things you got to make sure you do is make sure you tip your crafters, because this is a really easy way for them to pick up a little bit of gold, but a lot of times people aren't tipping huge amounts. So we're going to go ahead and place that order, and it's got within 24 hours to get that done. Now, on the flip side, if you're an artisan, you can also do crafting orders. All you need to do is go to your crafting station, open up work orders down at the bottom, and we can take a peek and see if there's anything listed. However, people tend to pick these up really quickly, so you tend not to have the option to do so. But there have been a few times where I've been lucky and I've gotten a couple hundred gold just by able to make a couple pieces for other people. These things get picked up very quickly. People like doing it to level their professions. And honestly, it's just, I feel, a severely underutilized system, especially when it comes to decor. Now, I was just about to record talking about how there is a bit of a downside to this, which is you have to wait. But if you look down at the screen over here, you can see a crafter has fulfilled your order for the Zandalari bottle shipment. I just barely put that in within the last 5 minutes as I've been filming, and we're already going to be able to pick that up. But that does open up the conversation about what are some of the downsides of trying to go about this route. Well, one of the downsides is you can't just run to the auction house, grab the item, and go. There is a bit of setup that's involved, which is going to require you to go farm and also put in that work order and wait. Now, if you want the convenience factor, you can definitely run to the auction house and pay ungodly prices for something that really should only be 1/10 of the cost. Like I said, we went out and farmed wood for just a little bit, and I'm going to get this item for 100 gold plus whatever I paid for materials, which really was not a lot. And just like that, we're going to be able to pick up our bottles. We're going to only pay 100 gold. That was awesome. Thank you so much for doing that, buddy. We're going to click that, and we're going to go ahead and learn it. And boom, we have the Zandalari bottle shipment in our decor library, which is awesome. Can't wait to set that down. And as you can see, we're back in our house, and I feel like this is actually a really good place to drop the bottles down. This actually ended up being a lot bigger than I expected it to be. Now, before we end this video, I do want to go and do a little bit of an overview on how to do this again. All you're going to need to do is make sure that you picked up your lumberjacking axe, have it active, and download the add-ons that are in the description below, along with clicking the site that has the routes. You're then going to upload those routes in the area that you want to farm the wood. I definitely recommend heading over to Wowhead to kind of get an idea of what you want to craft or have crafted for you, and then farm in that area. Once you have enough wood for the item you need, you're then going to head over to the nearest crafting order station. I believe you can find that in Valdrakken, but also over in Dornegal. And most likely you're going to head over to Dornegal, for that being the current expansion. Once you have an idea of what you want crafted and what it's going to take, go ahead and make sure that you are tracking the recipe and open up the auction house and get the rest of the materials that you need. And then go ahead and place a public work order, and someone will pick it up for you and get it to you pretty damn quick, because this stuff is just flying off the shelves. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope this saves you a bunch of money on your decor adventures as you start to fill out your houses. If you guys have any questions or comments, drop them down below. Make sure that you give a like, comment, subscribe. It really helps the algorithm to boost this channel. This is a new channel for me. I do have other channels that I've worked on in the past, but I've been really excited about diving back into World of Warcraft. I will have a future video about heading back into World of Warcraft in 2025, as my wife and I had left the game for quite a long period of time, from Warlords of Draenor all the way up into Dragonflight, and really coming back for the War Within. We are extremely excited for Midnight, and I can't wait to be on this journey with you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.